Good evening, everyone. Um, this is yet another great opportunity to have great time together, and I want to appreciate you for taking time to connect to today's meeting. I appreciate all of you for your consistency in participation, and I hope you can see my face very well. Just that, as we are about to start the meeting, um, the power holders hold their light. So until we put on our gen, we'll be managing it the way it is now. But I think you can see my face very well and you can hear me, right? So good evening. Welcome for today's meeting. We appreciate your great commitment and dedication. And I also want to use this opportunity to appreciate St. John Okwara, who sent a gift to me, and I appreciate it. My regards to you for the gesture you have shown to me. I appreciate it. Very good. Thank you very much. And where you have taken it to reward me, may God replenish you in real time. So today, we are going to continue from where we stopped. We are on module 4, and we are going to look at unit 4 of that module today. And we are looking at negotiation. We have seen the definitions of negotiation, purpose of negotiations. We look at communications in negotiations and all of that. So today we are going to look at the cross cultures in negotiation. All right. And I hope you have seen your study manual. I have sent part of the study manual so that those of you that want to be making references to what we have been studying, you can go through it and then have a solid knowledge of what we have been talking about. All right. So you compare the lesson here and the manual, and then it will give you a solid knowledge on what you need to know. All right. So we will be looking at the cross cultures. All right. Cross cultures in negotiation. That's what we'll be looking at today. So, and I hope that we can be able to flow together. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Just confirm to me that you can hear me. Let me know before we continue. All right. Since you can hear me, we are going to proceed right away. Since we don't have light, we may not waste much time until we have our light. Otherwise, uh, I'm just using my phones to do the training. But I don't want us to miss the training anyway because we have a lot to cover. I don't know how much time we have. So, cross-cultural negotiation. Now, when it comes to negotiation, there are cultural factors that impact negotiation process. Do you understand? There are cultural affinities that affect and influence the negotiation process because we have different cultural orientations. We come from different cultural backgrounds. And of course, it affects the way we go into negotiation. Do you understand? We come with those cultural orientations in our negotiation process. And to some extent, those cultural backgrounds affect the way we, interact and also the way we operate. Do you understand? So we have some cultural examples that we are going to cite for the purpose of this training. You can relate it to any other culture that you consider available, or you can as well relate it to your own culture and try to match it and see how the cultural variables have been influencing your negotiation. There are people that don't like too much negotiation. Do you understand? Cultural sensitivities. There are this kind of perspective that women, they tend to negotiate more That's why women do go to the market to buy stuff, food stuff for the families, because they can negotiate and negotiate. Do you understand? Whereas you see a man will just, when they tell the man the price, will just pay you and move. Do you understand? No need for too much negotiation. Yeah, these are the kind of things I'm trying to talk about here. But we have generally some collective cultural attitude or behaviors or orientations that generally affect um, negotiation process. And we'll be looking at some of those things. So we are going to look at cross-cultural negotiations, and we are looking at understanding cultural influences on negotiation styles. Understanding what cultural influences on negotiation styles. All right. So understanding cultural influences on negotiation style is essential for effective communications and successful outcomes in diverse settings. So the context is very, very important. And the type of people you are dealing with also matters. Do you understand? It matters because the people may not be the same. The Chinese behave their own way, the Americans behave their own way, the Britain behave their own ways, the Japanese behave their own ways. Do you understand? So we don't behave the same. The Africans, they behave their own way. Do you understand? So there are cultural factors whereby individualism can influence certain things. Why there are other cultural perspective or variables that collective negotiation is a key. Do you understand? Because people value collectivism. Do you understand? So all of these things are factors that influence negotiation. So we are looking at those uh, areas or factors that of cultural uh, aspect that influence negotiation styles, and we are looking at cultural dimensions. So what are those cultural dimensions? We are looking at the individualism and collectivism. Individualism versus what? Collectivism. So in individualistic cultures like the USA, because in USA nobody cares, everybody is on his own. Do you understand? More of individual perspective. Everybody behaving the way they want, cares about themselves. Do you understand? They don't care much about others. All right. So they are individualistic in perspective. Do you understand? So people may prioritize personal goals. Personal what? Personal goals. Personal goals is what they prioritize. Why in collective societies or cultures like Japan, for instance, group harmony and census are valued. Do you understand? Group harmony or census are valued. Do you understand? So when it comes to negotiation, what will benefit the community as a people or an organization, as the case may be, is more preferred in Japan to like what benefit me as an individual. Do you understand? So that's what it means. But in the US, individual goals are being advanced. Do you understand? That is, people are more individualistic and set their own goals and try to achieve their own goals. But in other societies like Japan, collectivism is the way. Do you understand? They want to do things that affect them and affect their communities, or something that affect their communities as a, or benefit their communities as a people. Do you understand? So it's very important. Then we'll talk about power distance. Power distance. Cultures with high power distance. For example, many Asian countries may emphasize hierarchy in negotiations. May emphasize what? Hierarchy in negotiation. There's hierarchical in terms of, we have the high class or the high group, or the, you know, maybe we have a structure. Do you understand? Or we call what we can call a structure. Do you understand? People in that category, so they have such kind of hierarchical arrangement. Do you understand? So we have the lower, the high, the middle, and all of that. So it depends on how it may be arranged, but they prefer it to be done hierarchical. Do you understand? And then we have why in low power distance cultures like the Scandinavians, they may favor egalitarian what approaches. That is still collective approaches. Do you understand? Collective approaches. Because these are societies that sounds like socialist societies. Do you understand? So they prefer egalitarian approaches. Do you understand? Collectivism. Do you understand? Then we talk about uncertainty avoidance. Uncertainty avoidance. Uncertainty avoidance. Cultures that avoid uncertainty, for instance, Greece, may prefer structured negotiations with clear rules. Do you understand? They may prefer what? Structured negotiations with what? Clear rules, so that they don't want any form of uncertainty. That is, everything must be stated according to the ground rules and it must be followed structurally. They don't want anything that may result to an argument tomorrow. Do you understand? And then, but whereas those comfortable with ambiguity, like the US, might be more flexible. Even Nigeria here, or Africa, we can, we associated with that kind of ambiguity. Do you understand? We are not so particularly concerned with, structured process match. But in other countries, you can see such happening. Do you understand? So these are the issues. And then we'll talk about uh, talk about communication styles, because we just talk about the cultural dimensions. So look at the communication styles. There is direct versus indirect. Direct versus what? Indirect uh, communication styles. For instance, now we talk about some cultures like Germany. All right, they favor direct communication. All right, while other countries like China may rely on subtle and context. That is, the communication is not direct, it's not open, so it becomes so even difficult. It's subject to interpretation. Do you understand? And that interpretation can become a point of misunderstanding. Do you understand? So it takes time to resolve. So, but they are comfortable with that. All right. So it leads to interpretation of messages. For instance, now, because the communication is not direct, so you have to interpret. Do you understand? But Germany straight communication. Do you understand? As it is, express it. All right. So we have high context versus low context. All right. We have high context cultures. Right, like Japan, communicate in ways that rely on shared experiences and non-verbal cues. So we talk about the non-verbal cues. So you look at them as well, actions rather than words. Do you understand? Then and then also shared experiences, right? Well, when we talk about the low context cultures like the US, uh, they prioritize explicit verbal communication. Explicit what? Verbal communication. Do you understand? Express it, just express it clearly the way it is. They are not particularly used to non-verbal cues. Do you understand? But they want you to just express it the way it is. But countries like Japan may have such kind of shared experiences and non-verbal cues that can also influence their communication style in negotiation. Then we talk about negotiation tactics. Negotiations what? Tactics. Negotiation tactics. That is, competitive versus so competitive versus cooperative. That's individualistic cultures might lean towards competitive tactics because when it comes to competition, we talk about competitive negotiation types. One of the types of negotiation is competitive negotiation. Do you understand? So, in individualistic cultures, they may tend to favor competitive type of negotiations, right? More than where collectivist cultures may seek cooperative solutions that benefit all parties. That is, in collectivist cultures, they seek that approach, most especially cooperative. Do you understand? Approach that benefits everybody. That's the integrative. That's a win-win. Do you understand? Kind of negotiation styles. Do you understand? So that's what it means. Then we look at time orientation. Time orientation. Cultures with cultures with a long-term orientation, like the China, may focus on building relationship over time. They may focus on building relationship in terms of trying to negotiate. They try to build on that more than time factor or the time it takes to resolve or to reach agreement on whatever negotiation you are negotiating. But their main emphasis is building relationship in the course of that negotiation. Whereas in US, they favor time. Okay, they favor time. That is that is in US we have what we call the short term orientation. Do you understand? So they prioritize quick result. Here they don't care much about building relationship. What they want is the result. And because it's more of individualistic society, do you understand? But the communists and the socialists, you see, they tend to build relationships as in terms of negotiation. In the process of negotiating, they try to build relationship. Why community societies like the capitalist, for instance, they are individualistic, and that is America. America practice what the capitalist system so of the economy. So they just emphasize on quick result. They don't focus on the what you call it, building relationship. So these are some of the things. So these negotiation tactics, you have to understand some of them. Some of them want quick time orientation is a factor. While others just tend to just build relationship in the course of the process of negotiation. And then we'll talk about emotional expressions. Emotional expression. All right, emotional expressions. Different cultures have varying norms regarding emotional expression. In some cultures, for example, the Mediterranean, the Mediterranean cultures, they show emotions and they see emotions as a strength. Do you understand? That is, showing emotion is seen as what? As a strength. That is, you show emotion, so it shows some level of strength. That is their own belief. But there are some cultures that there are some emotions that you express. It may make someone to look at you as you are a weak person. Do you understand? That you are a weak person. And then, but it depends on the kind of emotions you express anyway. Then, but we have in other cultures, like the Nordic countries, okay, it may be viewed as inappropriate. Do you understand? Emotion may be viewed as inappropriate. Don't need such kind of emotions. Say. Don't come and show us that kind of emotions. Say, do you understand? Whereas in other countries, emotions is a sign of strength. Whereas in other countries, it's not welcome. Do you understand? We don't want that kind of emotions here. Then we have conflict resolution styles. Conflict resolution styles. Cultures differ in their approaches to conflict resolution, with some preferring what avoidance. Avoidance. That is, they don't just want to have issue with anybody. They just avoid problem as much as possible. And then others accommodating, and some pursuing direct confrontation. Countries like North Korea, do you understand? North Korea, they want direct confrontation. If you want us to go and fight, we'll fight. They are ready to fight. While there are other cultures that don't want direct communication. Why there are others that even avoid completely. Do you understand? They don't want to be noticed. Like, they don't have any problem. Do you understand? So we have preparation and research. So understanding the cultural background of your negotiation counterpart can help in preparing strategies that are culturally appropriate and effective. So now, assuming you have a business to do with a Greek person, what do? You know that these people prefer what? Structured negotiation process with clear rules. Do you understand? So you will be emphasizing on that, that let the process be very structured, and there should be laid down rules that guide the process. Do you understand? So that's what it means. So when you understand the cultural background of the person you are dealing with, if it's an American, it's an Americana, or an American, do you understand? Then you'll be able to uh, know that, okay, this is people that have the capitalist orientation, and competitiveness is in their gene. Do you understand? That is, they are so individualistic, and personal goals are being prioritized. Do you understand? So you also channel towards that. So that's what it means. So recognizing and adapting to these cultural differences can enhance negotiation effectiveness. Do you understand? Build trust and foster long-term relationships. So it is vital to approach negotiation with cultural sensitivity and be as open as you can. Do you understand? Because there are other cultural uh, factors that have to do with religion. So those cultures that are so religious oriented, you should also take that into consideration. Do you understand? So when you are approaching such cultures, you try to understand what they prefer and what they value most. Do you understand? And then try to deal with them based on that. So adapting negotiation strategies to cross-cultural context. How do you adapt negotiation strategies to cross-cultural context? So adapting negotiation strategies to a cross-cultural context is crucial for achieving successful outcome, because it's not what you apply in Nigeria, it works for you, that it will work for you in UK. So you have to adapt the strategy. Do you understand? It's not what you apply in UK that will work for you in US. So you have to adapt the strategy. Do you understand? So flexibility in your approaches to negotiation strategies is very important, so that you will not be using one thing to apply to all cultures. No, it will not give you effective results. Because even, like we have said, we have different cultural backgrounds, factors, and affinities, and those things influence negotiation process. So if you are approaching a Japanese and engaging a Japanese in business, you know that the strategy you use may be different from the strategy you use when you approach somebody in US. Do you understand? Because in Japan, collectivism is the key. In US, individualism is also a key. So you must understand these things. They are very important. So cultural awareness and research. Cultural awareness and research. Understand cultural norms. Research the cultural background of your negotiation counterpart. If you are going to engage a Japanese, then begin to study about the Japanese culture. You understand? Try to have a deep or the basic understanding of the Japanese culture, it will help you. If it's an American, you should understand their culture as well. If it's an African, if it's a Nigerian, you should understand where the person is coming from, the tribe. Do you understand? Understand them. It's very important to understand their values, communication styles, and negotiation practices. You understand? So in Africa, we are also more of a collective set of people. Do you understand? We don't promote individualism much. Because you come to in Africa, you want to negotiate something with a family, they will call all family members. Do you understand? And then there are some cultures in Africa that also prioritize hierarchical kind of negotiation. When they call the elders, they say it's the elders that will talk, not everybody. Do you understand? They prioritize some of these things. Do you understand? So you have to study and understand the cultural sensitivity of the person. If even in Nigeria, if we're approaching a northerner, for instance, now, you should understand that certain things may not be the same thing as when you're approaching a southerner. Do you understand? Because of different cultural norms and sensitivities. Do you understand? So it's very important. So recognize differences, right? Be aware of how cultural differences can affect perceptions, can affect perceptions. Do you understand? And then behaviors and expectations in negotiations. Because there are some cultures that, you know, uh, when you are discussing with them, then issues like religion, you must be careful. If it's something that has to do on certain aspect of religion, then you must be careful on how you present it. Do you understand? And then apart from that, there are some cultural practices that prohibit certain things. So you must be aware of some of these things. Do you understand? So that it will not affect the process of negotiation. Then flexible communication style. Flexible what? Communication styles. Adjust directness. Adjust what? Directness. That is, adapt your communication style to match the preferences of the other party. So use direct language when negotiating with those from the low context cultures, and be more nuanced with high context cultures like the Japan, high context cultures. Do you understand? So trust your directness. If I'm communicating with a German, you can pass your message direct without any form of anything. But when you are communicating with a Chinese, you do what? You do try to be so subdued in your communications. All right. So non-verbal cues. Talk about non-verbal cues. Pay attention to body language, eye contact, and other non-verbal signals, as these can vary significantly between cultures. Do you understand? There are some cultures that speak to you, they look into your face, but there are certain cultures that they don't look into your face. Do you understand? Because they have different cultural orientations. Do you understand? Because for them, looking into your face is a sign of disrespect. Why there are other people looking into your face is a sign of confidence and a mark of maybe let's say active listening. Do you understand? But in other cultures, when you are speaking with somebody that seems to be your senior, then you are not expected to look your senior into the eyes. Do you understand? So if you are in such kind of situation, you also take note. That's what we say, first and foremost, you should study their cultural background so that you not be mistaking certain things to certain things. Do you understand? You may not be mistaking somebody is not looking into your face, does not mean that the person is not listening. Or it may not mean that the person does not have confidence. No, it may not be so. But it's a mark of respect when communicating with elders. Do you understand? Or an adult. So we should understand some of these differences so that you will not mistake this non-verbal communication cue to another thing for another thing. So non-verbal communication cue is also very important for adopting negotiation strategies. Then we look at building relationships. All right. Build relationships. Invest time in relationship building, like what the Chinese does. They don't just focus on the result, but they build relationships. Do you understand? And that's why you see they are moving so fast. They are growing. They are growing very fast. Do you understand? Because they build relationships. In many cultures, establishing trust and rapport is essential before discussing business. See, it's been very, very difficult to discuss business with the strangers. But there are some people that don't care whether they meet you today, we must do business today. It doesn't matter. That's why even people can marry at the first sight or fall into love at the first sight. They say, I just fall in love with you at first sight. Do you understand? And then you can go to whatever extent you want that very first day you meet. But there are other cultures that no way. Do you understand? You must create that relationship before you start discussing anything, business, discussing anything, marital, or some people you meet a man today and the man is telling you that I want to marry you, and then you are just carried away. Yeah, okay, this person want to marry me. That's why we have been seeing so many heartbreaks here and there. Do you understand? So, but there are cultures that are like that. You meet them today, anything can flow. Or you meet a Chinese today, they expect you to build some certain relationship before certain things will come to pass. Do you understand? So it's very important that you should build relationships before you can discuss business. I can, if I come to you now, I walk into your organization now, then I begin to discuss business with you. You will not be comfortable. Do you understand? At least you want to know me to some extent, and what I do, where I work, and all of those things, and then maybe take time to study uh, my business and whatever I'm talking about. But some people don't ask this question; they just go into business discussion, and then that's why people are being scammed and so many other things like that. Do you understand? So spend time getting to know your counterparts. Spend time getting to know your counterparts. That's why we say you should do research on cultures. If you are engaging a Spanish, you should take time and study the Spanish very well. Study about their culture. Do you understand? If we are engaging anybody in the Caribbean, take time to study them, know their culture very well. Do you understand how they behave? So engage in small talk. Engage in what small talk. Use informal conversations to break the ice. This can help build uh, camar- camaraderie and ease tension. Do you understand? So it's create kind of relationships, and of course, the anxiety should reduce. You are not being anxious of, okay, who is this person? Who is this? Who am I dealing with here? Do you understand? You are not so anxious like that. You understand? So that's what it means. So adopt negotiation tactics. Adopt what negotiation tactics? Adopt negotiation tactics. Choose between competitive and collaborative. Choose between what? Competitive and collaborative. I told you if it's an American, you know that it's competitive because the goal is more of individualistic. But if it's a Japanese, then the collaborative is preferred. Do you understand? It's preferred. So choose between the two. So it's very important. So approaches depending on the cultural context. Decide whether to adopt a more competitive or collaborative negotiation strategy. And I've given you the example already. So be patient. In cultures that value relationship building, like the Chinese, be prepared for longer discussions and avoid rushing the negotiation process. But if it's an American or an American, do what? Rush the process. That's what they want. Quick results. But if it's the Chinese, they want to build relationship, build rapport, create sense of value. Do you understand? discuss. They want to know before they take any action. Do you understand? So build relation and be patient to build that relationship. So, but if you meet Nigerians that want quick, 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 do you understand? Quick, quick. No, we the Nigerians we want it quick, quick, quick. Do you understand? So we are not patient to wait. That is we don't have that sense of patience in us. We want it now. We want it very fast. We are just like the Americans. All right? We're just like the Americans. But other countries, other cultures, we build relationships. Build relationships. Emphasize mutual benefits. Emphasize what? Mutual benefits. So focus on win-win solutions. Focus on what? Win-win solutions. That is integrative bargaining or negotiation. Do you understand? So aim for outcomes that benefit both parties. Highlighting mutual interest can help bridge what cultural divides and foster collaboration. So it's very important that you practice uh, win-win approaches to solutions. Do you understand? So that it benefits everybody. Nobody is not feeling nobody is feeling you know defeated. Everybody feels like, okay, to some extent I get something. Do you understand? To some extent I get something. So it's very important. Then frame proposals accordingly. Frame what? Proposals accordingly. So tailor your proposals to align with the values and priorities of the other parties. Do you understand? Very important. So I hope you are following me, and I hope you are understanding me. I'm trying to um we are using our phones to do this lesson. So I want to just try so that we'll finish on time. Uh, or somebody is holding it for me. I don't want to waste much time. So, but I hope you are following up, right? So, frame proposals accordingly. Tailor your proposals to align with the values and priorities of the other parties. Very important. Then, manage conflicts and disagreements. Manage what? Conflict and disagreements. Stay calm and respectful. In the face of conflicts, maintain what? Composure and show respect for differing viewpoints. In case you are experiencing any form of conflict whatsoever, you have been taught the method of maintaining, controlling your emotions. Do you understand? With this emotional intelligence, so you have been taught how you can control your emotions. Where the emotions, when the emotions are high, what do you do? You have been taught on how to deal with that. So manage disagreement, manage conflicts. Do you understand? Use mediators if necessary. That's if you cannot be able to control the process, then use someone to facilitate the process for you. That's engage a mediator to facilitate conversation. So in that way, when rules are being set, you cannot interrupt anybody. Even if it's so choked to you, you have to wait until the person finishes before you put in your own appeals. Do you understand? Or you say your own point. So if you cannot control your emotions, then use a third party to help you to facilitate uh, the negotiation process. Do you understand? It's very important. It helps in the discussion. Then we'll talk about being mindful of time orientation. Being mindful of time orientation. We say some are attuned towards long-term orientation, while there are people that are short-term orientation. Do you understand? So, and we say that some cultures may prioritize punctuality and efficiency, while others may adopt a more fluid approach to time. So adjust your expectations and scheduling accordingly. That's why we have people that say African culture, African time, African time. Do you have you heard such kind of thing? Nigerian time, African time. This kind of time we're talking about here, it tells you that these people are not they are not good to timekeeping. Do you understand? But if they say meeting starting by 10, just becoming like 11:30. You understand? That's why some people, even in our meetings, some people try to take it like that. No. If you say we are starting our accreditation, like in our inductions, if you say we are starting accreditation by 8, we are there waiting for you for accreditation. You understand? Don't do that kind of thing. We are there, except we have some technical challenges and delays. Otherwise, once we say 7, we accreditation start by 8, we are there waiting for you to accredit you. You understand? So that's it. So, but there are some cultures that time is of essence. You understand? So if it's 10, it's 10. You understand? The Americans, for instance, now, time is of essence. Very, very important. So understand all of those. Very, very important. Seek feedback and clarification. Seek feedback and clarification. Do you understand? So encourage questions. Create an environment whereby all parties feel comfortable asking questions to ensure clarity and avoid misunderstandings. Do you understand? So all of this matters a lot. Ask questions. Where you are not clear, ask questions. When you ask questions, you know. When you ask questions, they take you out of confusion. So acting is knowing. So ask, seek feedback, clarifications. Do you understand? Summarize key points. Periodically, summarize discussions to confirm understanding and agreement. That's what you should do. So let's look at our last topic for today. We are going to look at building trust and overcoming communication barriers in cross-cultural negotiations. Building trust and overcoming what communication barriers in cross-cultural negotiations. How can you build trust and overcome communication barriers in cross-cultural negotiations? 1. Cultural sensitivity and awareness. Be cultural sensitive. For us in our country here, we have cultural diversity. Do you understand? Different cultures, different orientations, different religious belief systems. So we have to be, and that is the reason why we have not been able to move from where we are to grow, because we lack cultural sensitivities. You understand? We lack that ability. Many people, and most especially our leaders that are in position, lack, and even we are the lower. That's those of us that followers, or maybe even in our individual organizations where we find ourselves, we lack cultural sensitivities. That's why sometimes we just do things anyhow, cause crisis here and there. So, but cultural sensitivity and awareness is one thing that can help you to build trust and overcome communication barriers. Do you understand? So that someone will not mistake you when you are speaking. Because it's because of these communication challenges that even some people were killed. Do you understand? It's lack of communication, it's lack of cultural sensitivity that some people were killed on account of blasphemy. Do you understand? So if you are cultural sensitive, then you will limit your conversation, and you will mind the kind of words you use in a conversation. Do you understand? So that you not put yourself into trouble, or trigger any form of conflict or dispute. Do you understand? Very important. So research cultural norms. Research what cultural norms. Understand the cultural values, traditions, and negotiation style of the other party. This knowledge can help you to navigate interactions more effectively. So that's the reason why you must research. If you want to come and negotiate with me, start study me and where I come from. It will help you better. All right. So acknowledge differences. Recognize and respect differences in communication style. Yes, of course. Some may be logical, some may be illogical, but try to understand. Do you understand? Some may communicate fluently, some may communicate, you know, incoherently, but try to understand. Do you understand? So it's the same thing. So try to acknowledge cultural differences, right? So decision making processes and conflict resolution practices or approaches. Try to understand all of these things. Then establishing rapport. Establishing what? Rapport. So invest time in relationship building. Spend time getting to know your counterpart on a personal level. On a personal level, right? So building rapport can create a foundation of what? Trust. So use small talk. Use small what? Talk. Engage in light conversation before diving into business discussions. Before you like okay, for instance, now we come here. Yes, we come for negotiation, but don't come and be too serious and hey, you are just looking like okay, you have come for barrier, Kinan. No, sir, you have not come for barrier. You come here to negotiate business. So, but before you go into formal negotiation, can you please have interaction? You can even uh, help yourselves and then buy snacks and while you are buy wine. Okay, when it comes to business discussion, we don't use snacks. We use now champagne. All right. So a glass of wine. Just while you are sipping it, be discussing on a personal level. Try to ask questions. Ask questions about career. Ask questions about their company. Ask just normal questions. Ask questions on one-on-one. Where do you study? Where do you school? All those kind of things will help you. Do you understand? It may surprise you that you may come to know that, oh, this person even school where I school. You understand? In the course of conversation, I have interacted with people that I know that was school or school in Meduguri. Some are even graduated before them. Do you understand? Some will graduate the same year but different departments. Do you understand? And some are members of this institute. Do you understand? So it's like that. But sometimes when it comes to interact, then you begin to know each other like that. Do you understand? So don't go and be too serious as if, oh, this is a serious business matter, so I don't need to mingle with anybody. Let me just face what brought me here. No. You'll be making a big time mistake. Do you understand? So, and you make the negotiation become so difficult for you to arrive at result. All right. So, effective communication strategies clarify and confirm understanding. Regularly summarize key points to ensure everyone is on the same page. And of course, I hope we are on the same page. I hope you can understand. You are following me in the way I'm moving, right? So be mindful of language barriers. All right. Use clear, simple language and avoid idioms. Don't use idioms. Don't use jargons. Do you understand? That may not translate well across cultures. So don't go and use because you have if it comes idioms, I have my own. You have your own. Like for us in Nigeria here, we have different cultures and we use different idioms. Do you understand? And they mean different things. If we use it in another culture, in another environment, it means something else. Do you understand? It means something else. Even names that we bear. Sometimes my name in your own language may be something very terrible. Do you understand? And of course, your name in my own language, if I can tell you the meaning of it, what that thing means in my language, when you call something like that, it may be you will avoid it. Do you understand? But in your own culture, it may not be so. It may be something so precious. So be mindful of language barriers, all right? So non-verbal communications, pay attention to body language, where it values, like in Japan, do you understand? In Japan, Japanese, they value body language and all of that. But in the Americans, they want just express it as explicitly as you can. Do you understand? That is it. So maintain appropriate eye contact where it is a factor. But even this, I'm saying that there are some cultures that looking someone into the eyes when they speak in some cultures, and most especially in adult, it's interpreted as disrespect. But in America, for instance, now, you see a child is speaking with an adult, looking the adult right in his or her eyes. Do you understand? That's how it is. And for them, it means an act of confidence and what? An active listener. So please, let's, but the cultural, the context should determine. Do you understand? That's why in conflict analysis, we talk about the context. And in conflict resolution, we talk about the context. And when it comes to like and the stages in carrying out conflict analysis, we say that after looking into the history of that conflict, the next thing you look at is what? The context. Before you look at the parties involved. So you look at the context. The context is very important. It determines a lot of things. What's happening in Abuja here may not be the same thing that may happen in Lagos. What happens in Nigeria may not be the same thing that happens in Kenya. Do you understand? And that's why it is well. So that's why you see that even people that are highly educated sometimes make this kind of errors. The accreditation of degrees or accreditation of institutions or the licensing of institutions in one country may differ from another country. Do you understand? So it will be so very wrong for you to come and say those institutions are not recognized. It's these ones that are recognized. How do you come to that conclusion? So environment and context matters. Do you understand? So when we deal with people without, or we deal with situations, ignoring the context, then it becomes a problem. And it's subject to criticism. That's why even the decision of the federal government is being criticized. Why? Because they ignore the context. They are just mindful of what they want to achieve in that argument. So it's a very serious factor. Do you understand? Fostering inclusive environment. Fostering what? An inclusive environment is a key. Fostering what? An inclusive environment is a key. So encourage participation. Create an environment whereby everybody has something to say, have something, an input to give, and discuss freely. Do you understand? Create such environment. And then be patient with communication styles. Because there are some people that will have to explain and explain. You know, there are some, okay, like for instance, on me, God forgive you, but okay, I can listen to you as much as possible, but I'm impatient to long talk. But we have people that can, that is, they need to talk. They must talk very well. So you have to, as much as possible, except you have a somebody who is facilitating the discussion, and then you have time that you can communicate. Like, okay, we express yourself in 1 minute to another person, or 2 minutes to express yourself. Do you understand? And then, so be patient, but you have to be patient. You understand? You have to be patient. All right? Building credibility. Building what? Demonstrate integrity. Building credibility means demonstrating what? Integrity. Be honest and transparent. There's no reason to lie in trying to negotiate. Don't try to create impression. Try to do what? Express, not creating impression. When you create impression, it becomes a problem. Because some of us will talk Okay, you are presenting what your company cannot even do, and you are making an impression out of it that you can do this, you cannot do this. And when they assign you, or maybe when they give the contract to do it now, you say, okay, for instance, now you go negotiating for a contract, and they say, well, in this contract, we are not going to give you, we are not going to mobilize you to start. You have to source money to do the contract. When you finish, we reimburse you. And then you say, yes, we have the capacity. Oh, we have the capacity, we have the capacity. No wonder when you're coming for such contracts, government, the person that's giving you the contract asks you to bring your bank statement so that they will know your capability. Do you understand? Because I believe it must have been this kind of experience that led to asking organizations to bring their bank statement so that we look at your capabilities. Do you understand? So, but people will go and create an impression that we can do this, we can do this, we can do that. And then at the end of the day, it becomes a flop. Do you understand? So build trust, be honest and transparent in your dealings. Do you understand? And consistency in your actions and words build trust over time. That's why I kept telling you that this training is free. And we ask you to pay anything, it's free. And we are not stopping like this one now, we stop. No, already the flyer for next month training is going to go out soon. It's already, work is in progress on it to be out. We'll list it and do promotion for people to register for it. Do you understand? It's free. And we're not stopping soon. No. Next year is going to be, we will line up, we'll project it, we'll schedule all the courses so that anybody that wants to do you know that this is the course that I can, so you register for the one you want. Do you understand? Or for the ones you want. So it's free. So that's it. But it's free, but somebody sent a gift to me, today. I was not in Lagos. The person gave the person that represents the national secretariat a gift to come and give to me. Do you understand? And I receive it. It's a cloth, cloth, a short and a top, something like a sports kind of clothes. Do you understand? So, and I appreciate it. I didn't ask for it. It came freely, just free, as a gift. So that's it. So follow through on commitment. Follow through on what? Commitment. So ensure that you honor your commitment and agreements. All right. This reliability reinforces trustworthiness. So it's very important. Conflict resolution. Address issues calmly and respectfully. Where there's disagreement, and whenever disagreement arises, approach them with a calm demeanor. I get it one now. Don't just go around being rapapapapapa over it. Some of us are not patient to conflict at all. We'll just be vibrating, vibrating, vibrating like, ah, calm down. Use respectful language and discuss your misunderstanding and settle it. Seek win-win solutions. Utilize third parties where you cannot be able to communicate. Just utilize all third parties. So this is the much we can take today's training. Tomorrow we are going to look at negotiation ethics. Negotiation what ethics. That's what we're going to look at tomorrow. And then we'll be done with module 4. So negotiation ethics. Try and be part of tomorrow's training as well. So thank you very much for your time. Sorry, we have to rush the training because we tried to start our journey. It didn't start. I don't know what's the problem. So we manage our lights that we have. So and but I hope you people follow up and we are done with this one. So we'll meet tomorrow no, not tomorrow. Thursday. Tomorrow is our free day. All right. So, but this one will be rebroadcasted tomorrow. So if you miss it, you can still watch it. If you want to rewatch it, you can still watch it by tomorrow, same time. So thank you very much. We'll meet on Thursday by uh by 7 p.m. And this week is International Day of Peace. All right. And for us in Abuja here, or as an institute, we are going to organize a peace walk. If we can do something for peace on your own, that's fine. We did training on peace education. You may decide to organize a peace awareness or advocacy program in your community, in your locality, or in your organization, as the case may be, just to mark the International Day of Peace. You can do that, and if you do it, please be proud enough to record it and send it to us so that we can amplify it and share to the world to see what you are doing in your own community. Do you understand? So I encourage you to do something for peace. This is the week of the International Day of Peace, but the day is on Saturday. That's 21st of September. So, and some of our state chapters are going to send their representative to come to Abuja here. So we are also making arrangements to have the medias cover the event. Also have uh, the rep safety are coming, the DSS already are coming to make sure that everybody's security is the police will be there, the civil defense will be there to make sure that everybody's security is covered. So if you are in Abuja, you may do way to come and join us, no problem. You may do way to come and join us and be part of the work. So that we can create awareness about peace. And then the theme for this year is cultivating the culture of peace. Do you understand? Cultivating a culture of peace. That's the theme for the year. So do something to cultivate the culture of peace in your community, in your school. The school have resumed. If you are a teacher, do something in your school with your student in your class and send us the video. Let's acknowledge it, appreciate you and acknowledge your effort as well. So thank you very much and have a wonderful night rest. I didn't have time to check your comments, but let me just run through it if I can say something to pick. Yes, International Day of Peace, Harriet, do something. What you could do something for your community, and that would be good. So yeah, the manual, Daniels, the manual is posted in the WhatsApp group, so you can get it there. I posted it, so try and get it. It's in the WhatsApp group. Try and get it. All right. So thank you very much. Yes, cultivating the culture of peace. Thank you very much for those of you that are paraphrasing it. What's your question, Okonko? Is there any question, Okonko? You are saying, this is my question. What's your question? Okay, for the manual or what? It's being posted there. Please take time to download it. Bye. Thank you very much. We will see you on Thursday by 7 p.m. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night rest. Okay, somebody said a do election is on Saturday, where you can do something for your community before Saturday. Do you understand? If you want to do something for peace, you can do it before. That's if you are in Edo State, for instance. You can do something for your community or for whatever you want to do for peace before Saturday. We are not saying it must be on Saturday, but what you can do is that you can do this the whole of this week. We consider it a week of a lot of activities towards peace. Do you understand? So, and then for you that are in Edo State and you are going to go into election, please try as much as possible to maintain peace during the election. Because I remember that the governor refused to sign the peace accord when Adusarami and his team, former uh, head of state, Adusarami Abubakar visited with his team for the peace accord. I remember the Obaseki refused to sign. According to him, he said that this election is going to be violence. I don't know why he come to that conclusion. Maybe because the APC is at here and all of those things. So But I believe that if you are participating, you that you are listening to me now, you're participating in that election, then maintain peace. And then remind the people that are going to work with you or are going to vote in your center that this election coincided with what the International Day of Peace. So they must maintain peace in your polling units, in your own location. Do your bit, just do your bit, and then leave the rest. All right. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful night rest. Thank you very much. Somebody said.